Greetings everyone, Marquis TV. We have a pleasant surprise this morning.
Bonjour.
We have Marion Barral from Chateau de la Gardine in Châteauneuf du Pape, and we just tasted some pretty darn good wines this morning. Even with my cold, you can still taste the quality of the wines. Welcome. All right. Have you been to Vancouver before?
Yes, and thanks for arranging the weather, which is beautiful.
Perfect.
Almost like in the road.
Almost. Now, if we can make the wines in BC like they are in the Rhone, then we're going to be up like that, and you're going to have some severe competition.
We cannot call BC Grenache land yet.
Not yet. But Syrah does actually pretty well here. Anyway, let's stick to the Rhone. So, boy, I've been to the Rhone so many times. I love going to the area. And what a lot of people, Châteauneuf du Pape specifically, what they just think it's this one piece of land, which it is, but it has all these micro and mesoclimates.
Yep.
And that's why there's Grenache and Muscadin and Counoise and Syrah and Mourvèdre, because they all ripen at different times. Do you want to explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Châteauneuf du Pape, it's 3,000 hectares.
Yep.
The whole appellation. I don't know how this translates into acres, but it's
times 2.25.
It's quite large. So you can imagine that within this large piece of land, you've got loads of variations in terms of soils. We've got the big stones that people know about, but we've also got some sand, some limestone at the western side, and we've also got some mesoclimate variations. For example, Chateau de la Gardine were located on the western side of Châteauneuf du Pape by the Rhone River. So we have a slightly cooler mesoclimate, which is very helpful on hot vintages. And we've got three types of soils. The galets roulés, of course, which we could translate as pudding stones. We've got some limestone. These you only come across at the western side of Châteauneuf du Pape. They're very good for freshness and minerality. And we've got some sand and clay. So really we play around a blend of terroir, I would say, to find a good balance in the wines.
Well, and also they ripen at different times. So back in the old days when they had the horse and the cart, traveling through the road, one varietal comes in, they do the work with it, the other varietal is ready to get harvested. It's not 3,000 hectares. Ripens all at the same time.
Yes,
it's all different. So most producers make a couple of different wines. So we have a Côte de Rhone here. So tell us about that.
So all our wines are predominantly Grenache. I said we're in Grenache land. So our Côte de Rhone is our entry-level wine, which is a blend of 70% Grenache and the rest of Syrah and Cinsault. So Grenache is the base. Syrah brings some spice to the blend. And Cinsault some superness. So the good thing about this wine, you've got the spice and the sunshine of the Rhone, but very supple, very fruity, food friendly.
Even with my cold, what I don't get is that high alcohol content. You know, that big, rich, almost syrupy. There's a freshness to the wine. Yeah. You said that it's aged in concrete tanks, or there's no wood to this. So this is actually quite tasty. And I think it's about $20 or so.
Yeah.
It's a great value wine.
Great with spicy food, because you've got the spice of the wine and the fruit that cools down the heat a little bit. So
pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Okay,
not
next.
Complicated, nothing.
It's not complicated, unlike life today.
And unlike most French wines.
Exactly. Châteauneuf du Pape. Let's taste the Chateau de la Gardine. So tell us about this is 2012?
Yes.
2012 vintage.
So it was a beautiful vintage with a very good balance. If I compare to 2011 or 2009, these were much warmer vintages. So what we love in the 12 is that we've got this good acidity that really balances the wine and also will help it to age even better. Yeah, this one got a 95 in decanter, which was a surprise. Yeah, we always get good ratings, but that was even better on the 12.
This is really good. And you used Chateau de la Gardine has not, for the most part, fallen into the trap of micro cuvées and splitting up their parcels into making selection parcelaires for the North American market, which irritates the hell out of me, because you've taken the assemblance of something really good, all these different parcels, and then you butchered it by making all these micro cuvées at mass amounts of money and 15% alcohol. And for the most part, you've stayed away from that. Now, having said that, we're moving into this next wine, which kind of falls in that. But how many bottles did you make? 1,000 to 2,000. So it really doesn't affect this at all. 1,002. We're talking a very, very small amount.
This actually reflects what's in the vineyards.
Exactly.
2/3 Grenache, a bit of Syrah, Mourvèdre, and Muscardin.
Yeah, I've been to other producers, and I tasted the original Château, great, and then a couple of years later, they have all these micro cuvées, and the original Château tastes like Beaujolais, which is nothing wrong with Beaujolais, but not at $80 a bottle.
Yeah.
And I was getting very, very frustrated because you're deconstructing something really, really good. So let's talk about this one.
So Peur Bleu is it's a funky label, funky name. To have a Peur Bleu in French means, how did you translate that?
In Canadian, it's called scared shitless. But it's called, what was it, Peur Bleu meant is?
Mean scared to death.
Scared to death.
Very scared. Because most wine producers are scared to death to vinify their wines without any sulfites. They're very scared that the wines might turn bad, especially if it's very hot in the cellar during the harvest, like where we are. So, but Patrick Brunet, the winemaker, has always had this dream of making a wine with completely pure fruit. And his wife kept telling him, "No, man, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that." She had a Peur Bleu, but he didn't listen to her.
Yes, he fit.
2004, he made his Peur Bleu, and so in this wine we use a bit less Grenache, more Syrah and Mourvèdre compared to the Tradition. So 1/3 of each, Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvèdre, and it's vinified in a very traditional way in oak
uprights.
Yeah, upright tanks with partly of the grapes stem and the other part in full bunches. And there's no barrel aging. It's just really the expression of the fruit.
So the Mourvèdre, there's two types of people in this world: people who like Mourvèdre and people who don't. If you like Mourvèdre, this wine I love it. It's great. It brings structure, it brings density, it brings richness, it preserves the wine. There's an earthiness and a little rusticity to the wine, but for me, it's classic. I think it's a great bottle of wine. I love this. It's the first time I've tasted it. So, congratulations. There's another very good producer in the area called Cornas who makes a wine called No Sulfur Sans Souf. His name's Thierry Alamand, which you probably know, and his wines are impossible to get, and they age. The wines are fantastic. So, and in Châteauneuf and in the Rhone, it's easier to make wines. They're healthy because of the weather. It doesn't rain like Finger Lakes.
And if it rains, we have a Mistral.
Mistral comes in and dries it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think this will nurse my cold a little bit more. So Châteauneuf will make me better. I'll tell you in the next video. Cheers. Welcome to Vancouver. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and please come to the Rhone and visit us.